Welcome to Lifing 101 podcast, and this is our parody of Emotional Roller Coaster. Last night I screamed, cussed and fussed, woke up with dry mouth, my mouth was vulgar, neck was rolling, Lord help me please before I throw this darn shoe, drink stiff coffee to clear my mind, it's supposed to help me out, where's the rum charter, 'cause I'm losing it, I'm going crazy. I'm on an emotional roller coaster, acting nuts, ain't nothing helping. Acting nuts is never good for me, but I can't get off. Emotional roller coaster, acting nuts, ain't nothing helping. Acting nuts is never good for me, but I can't get off.
Welcome to Lifing 101, a journey through life's experiences, challenges, and interpretations. An intriguing and soul-refining podcast that explores the countless twists of life. Get ready to be amused, enlightened, entertained, empowered, and inspired. Hosted by Tina C. Christian, your MC with the LPC, and guest co-host Lorenda McKinney, your MC with the PhD.
Welcome, lovely listeners, to an exciting episode of Lifing 101 podcast,
where we dive into life's little mysteries and offer you insights to help you lead a happier, more fulfilling life.
I'm your MC with the LPC, Tina C. Christian, navigating y'all through this journey up and down and all around on this emotional roller coaster we call life.
And I'm your MC with the PhD, Lorenda McKinney. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfortable spot, sit back and relax while we embark on this restorative journey together. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are taking a very deep dive into the fascinating world of emotional intelligence, psychological safety, and the roller coaster ride that is the workplace and home life.
Yeah, we're exploring the critical importance of creating emotionally safe environments in our daily lives and how emotional intelligence plays a significant role in achieving this. But fear not, listeners, we've got a crash course in how to use emotional intelligence without losing our sanity.
Okay, just 1 second. Tina, Tell me this about this emotional intelligence. So I have to not only understand and manage my emotions, but also recognize and influence the emotions of those around me as well. Is that right?
Well, that is emotional intelligence.
Okay, well, now that I've confirmed that, let's go ahead and tackle emotional intelligence on the home front. So they say home is where the heart is, but sometimes it's also where that good old heartburn is.
You know what? That's right, Doc. But the home is where the heart is, but it's also where our emotions run wild often.
So here we go. Is it home sweet harmony, home sweet chaos, or home sweet hectic home? We begin at home where the sweet sounds of emotional intelligence can be anything but sweet.
Right. Yes, home, where we practice all those emotional safety techniques we learn at work.
Right. We all have those moments when navigating emotions at home is like performing a tightrope act. Now, as a mental health professional, Tina, how do we create a space of emotional safety at home?
That's a good question, Doc. Well, first of all, establishing open communication, actively listening to each other, and having empathy creates a foundation for family members to feel heard and understood. Being aware and attuned to ourselves and others is very important as well. So, being emotionally intelligent and being able to say things like, I'm sorry, please, and thank you can go a long way in all relationships. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah. I know it's hard sometimes for people to say, I'm sorry, or thank you, or please and thank you. But I mean, that's just the way I was brought up. So it's easy for me, you know.
Right. The please and thank you comes natural. Now, the sorry, I might be like, sorry, but the please and thank you, that definitely comes natural.
My bad. Or as Bobby say, that's not sorry. Yes, it is. I said my bad. What you want from a sister? What do you
want from a sister?
Leave me alone. But no, for real. Some emotional intelligent phrases that we can use when we're communicating with our family can be things like, how can I help? Every time I say that, I think about...
Gates.
No, that too. How may I help you? No.
Because I right away thought, beef on butter and heavy on the sauce.
C4, please. But no, have you watched Amsterdam, the new Amsterdam?
No, I haven't.
I love that show. But anyway, I think about the doctor or the medical director that came in and took over, and that's his question, how can I help? How can I help? So he's very emotionally intelligent. But anyway, how can I help is a good phrase. How are you feeling? I use that all the time, but I'm a therapist. So yeah, how are you feeling? I trust your judgment. I'm here for you. I understand how you feel. Thank you for understanding. We all make mistakes. I need some time to process my emotions. My husband needs to use that one because he never gets back to me. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I said something. Also, I appreciate your patience. I hear you. I'm proud of you. I respect your opinion, and I love you. I use most of those. What about you?
I love you. What you name, like 10? I'm like, yeah, 2 of those I know.
I do. I use I love you. I always use, let's see, I appreciate you. Maybe not your patience, because like, for instance, my husband, he's not patient. So we all make mistakes. I use that a lot. I like to think that I'm emotionally intelligent, you know. I trust your judgment or your decision as well. That could be interchangeable. So I use I trust your decision or I trust your judgment because my husband, he needs affirmation on everything. So I'm like, hey, dude, I said, okay, whatever. I trust your judgment. I trust you. Just do it, you know. So I use that.
Right.
I don't even think I'm trying to be emotionally intelligent. I just want you to leave me alone. Go on somewhere. Go get it done. That's what I be thinking. But you know what, though? It's easier said than done, though, you know, because when emotions run wild and we often respond like we're in the wild, like raging and roaring like animals, you know, it's hard to remember all of those, you know, emotionally intelligent phrases to say, especially if it's a conflict.
Right.
Yeah. So I try hard to be understanding and empathetic in my home, you know, with my family. But baby, let me tell you, it's a struggle sometimes. And I know people may think that it should come natural for me because I'm a mental health professional. But the truth be told, I'm still human, people.
That's right.
And I experience, you know, highs and lows just like everybody else. And I try to remind people of that because they're looking at me like, you're supposed to be the role model. And typically I am, and I try to be, but I'm still human, people. So just try to be patient with yourself because it's hard, especially when you're dealing with people that are close to you. You can't really be objective. And that's one of the reasons why they say mental health therapists can't counsel their friends and or families because you can't be objective. You're too close to the situation. Right. You have too many emotions, too many feelings about it. So again, just try to be patient with yourself and with others and give yourself, again, like we said before, that same grace that you would give someone else, because relationships can be like Rubik's Cube. It's like hard as hell to figure out, you know?
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's 2 things that you mentioned that are very good. The first one, you mentioned communicating, which is talking and listening. And it's funny because I seen that today. And a lot of people think communication is just talking, but it's actually listening as well.
Yeah. A lot of us can talk our ass. Yeah. I'm one of them. But to be able to actively listen, that's a skill. And
not listen to respond, but you're actually listening.
Oh my God. That's what I tell my husband. Baby, are you listening to me or are you just listening? You like, yeah, wait till she stop. I got something to say. Oh, yeah. He ain't heard nothing I said because he ready to respond.
Right. And then I think that, like you said, people are like, you're a mental health professional, so you should have it all in the bag all the time. No. And now again, because when you leave work, you want to be able to not have it in the bag and be able to say what you need to say. And there's this meme that's always on Facebook that says, please pray for your friends that can't say what they want to say between 8 and 5. Because when we get off at 5:15, we ready to say some things. So don't hold us accountable for professionalism once we're not on the clock.
Correct. But you know, hey, you know, like, for real, ups and downs, emotional intelligence and psychological safety and all that in everyday life, I struggle like everyone else, you know, because for one, like my family members, Bobby and my daughter, they're both, I don't know if I would call them sensitive, but they wear their feelings on their sleeve when it comes to me. With other people, probably not so much. Right. So oftentimes I feel like I'm not sensitive enough with them. Or sometimes I feel like they think I'm harsh, but I'm not. I'm just me. Or even like in situations with previous clients, I'm kind of blunt and frank. And I would always start my, relationship with new clients with this disclaimer. I'm going to be me all day, every day, swear to God. Boo boo. I can't be anything but me. I may say slang. I may curse. You may not like me, and that's okay. I mean, I like you, and this relationship may not work for us. And let's not waste each other's time. Let's not waste, the insurance money or your money or my time. Let's talk about it. If I'm not for you, because I'm not for everybody, let's just say that. And I have thick skin. We can do that and we can move on. I don't want to be wasting our time or spinning our wheels. So I think that sometimes I can be a little blunt and a little frank and a little insensitive to other people in their minds, but to me, I'm just being real.
Right. And I prefer the blunt. I prefer the 100% authentic person because I prefer to know, okay, this is Tina. What you see is what you get. Not what you see. You got to wonder, is it really true? Or is it? So I prefer the 100% authentic person. So I like those people. Those people stand out to me that are just honest. Even the ones that make you stand back like, whoa, that's something I would have said. I like those people.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, I use Ebonics, broken English, black, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I had a little girl tell me one time that I was saying, she's like, finna? Finna's not a word. Girl, that is a word. I said finna do what I'm about to. You're not going to change my language.
And we finna go.
And we going to finna just go ahead and do what we're doing.
We finna eat.
Yes, so you know what I meant. If you didn't, you wouldn't have tried to correct me. So, but what I'm saying is I'm highly educated. I don't have to prove that to anybody. I am who I am. As they say, I am who I am. I don't give a damn. I'm going to be me. I got to be me 100% of the times. But I do like to think that I'm emotionally intelligent and that I do respect other people and try to use these emotionally intelligent phrases and create safe spaces for others.
Right.
Hey, Doc.
What up, Tina?
You know what? Maybe if we start telling people that emotional intelligence is an app, they'll start using it.
Maybe so. Or maybe if we make it a social media platform called Emotional Intelligence.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe we'll get a bunch of subscribers.
You sure right. A wise man once said.
But what did he say?
Nothing. He only listened. That's a part of him. We were just talking about that emotional intelligence.
We were.
You got to be able to actively listen, people. You don't have to always respond, So.
Tina, I have zero empathy for sociopaths.
Well, to be fair, Doc, they don't have any for you either. They're sociopaths.
They don't?
No, ma'am. They don't even have empathy. They don't give a damn about what you
Oh, my word.
No, ma'am. But you know what? Guess what, Doc? Guess what?
What?
The human brain is one of the most complex objects in the universe.
Oh, no wonder so many people never learn to properly use it.
True that.
Self-control and growth, my friends, laugh out loud, and more growth is the only way to survive in a world full of idiots.
Oh, my God. You telling me, because sometimes I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. But you know what? Self-control. Yep, that's emotionally intelligent, ma'am.
It is.
Now, like I said, that's some emotional intelligence for you. You know what? But you know what, Doc?
What, Tina?
Some people just don't have or even understand emotional intelligence. They're just street smart, like Sesame Street smart.
I agree with the Sesame Street smart because people hear the term street smart, they like, yeah, I am street smart.
Yes,
no,
Sesame Street.
Not street smart. Sesame Street.
Yes, ma'am. We talk about Sesame Street.
Sesame Street smart.
On my way. Everything's okay. They stuck. Anywho.
Well, back to the program, guys. Emotional intelligence is no match for natural stupidity. Like, we know common sense is not so common.
No.
And then the other good one, common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everyone's garden.
Some people ain't even planting nothing.
Yeah, the garden is big. It's the same dirt they put down 3 summers ago.
Yes, but girl, let me tell you, I'm so emotionally constipated. I haven't given a shit in days.
Oh no, not days.
So I got a good one for you, Doc. So a man comes home from a long day at work, and his wife empathetically says, "Honey, I don't like it when you're not feeling good. When you're stressed, it stresses me out. When you're anxious, I'm anxious. When you're sad, it makes me sad. Whatever you feel, I feel too." So, you know what the husband said?
What did he say?
He said, "Then how come when I'm horny, you're not horny?" She was trying to be emotionally intelligent. He came back for that. Bye.
She was. She tried it.
She tried it.
Even though we have added a funny spin to this topic, emotional intelligence, psychological safety, and safe spaces are crucial in our personal and in our professional lives.
Laughter is a great stress reliever, and sometimes a well-timed joke, people, can turn a tense situation into a laughing riot.
And this is so true. It's so funny to laugh sometimes just so that you don't get so worked up.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
They help us build better relationships, understand others, and work more effectively. And, well, they keep us from pulling our hair out or other people's too.
Right. Snatching people's balls. Come here. I'm going to snatch you ball. But let's not forget that the emotional roller coaster, we all ride on daily. From happy highs to infuriated lows, we navigate emotional minefields while trying not to step on the wrong emotional landfill.
The Workplace Chronicles, where psychological safety takes a front seat, where keeping a straight face during emotional roller coasters is an art form.
Yes, it's where we master the art of keeping a straight face, during those virtual work meetings, and where we master our best poker face.
We spend a significant portion of our lives in the work trenches. Actually, we probably spend some of our best hours at work. Mm-hmm. Let's uncover the importance of psychological safety at work.
Yes, Doc. So, as a seasoned HR professional, can you tell us how organizations can promote psychological safety in the workplace?
Of course, Tina. Psychological safety is vital for innovation and employee well-being. Companies can encourage it by valuing diverse perspectives. Remember, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. A lot of time, people focus a lot on just the diversity and inclusion. They've recently added the belonging because when you're at work, you need to feel like you belong somewhere. Like, are you going into the lunch cafeteria and everybody's in a clique and you're sitting alone? Everybody, even as grown-ups, we still want to be included. So diversity, inclusion, and belonging. And just valuing diverse perspectives and developing the capacity to understand the interrelationships between multiple perspectives, such as personal, social, culture, disciplinary, environmental, gender, economic, local, and global. Another one would be encouraging feedback and preparing to receive it by setting clear expectations in a positive tone. So whenever I'm interviewing for a position, I always bring up the fact that when I start a new position, I'm going to always give my expectations, but I also want to hear the people's expectations of me. Because it's not one-sided. It's not just about what does HR need from you? What do you need from HR? Right. Because you're a team. And the only way it's going to work is if both people are able to communicate what they need from each other and both people are open to accept that feedback. But I guess it's just important to remember that as a team, you guys have to keep that communication open for clear feedback and expectations. And last but not least, this is one of my favorite topics to discuss, providing support for employees' mental health by encouraging employees to use the EAP program if available.
Yes.
Or just simply asking for what the employee needs. And then I call that the genuine open door policy. And the reason why I say the genuine open door policy, because a lot of managers say they have an open door policy, but every time you step close to their door, you feel like you're being a burden. So that's why I say simply asking what an employee needs, but making sure it's genuine. And then I'm going to go back a little on the EAP program. So this is one of the benefits that is free to usually all employees, whether you take advantage of medical, dental, vision, 401k. This benefit is usually free. But a lot of employees do not know about it because the companies don't push it like they push the paid benefits.
Right.
However, it's probably one of the most beneficial benefits that the company can offer you. So if you're not sure if your company offers it, inquire. Usually it offers a bunch of different benefits under that umbrella, but one of the biggest things is counseling. And usually you're entitled to probably 2 to 3 and sometimes even 4 free sessions.
Yeah, I've had clients to come through with 6 to 12. So it really just depends on the company.
It depends on the company
and or the insurance program that you have.
Right. And then the biggest thing is that a lot of employees don't know. So when you mention it to them, they go, no, I don't think we have that. And me as a HR person, I'm looking at them like, we have it. But nobody ever mentions it to them. So I always tell all my managers, keep that type of information posted in a common area so that all employees can see it. Because what's the chance of me coming and saying, Tina, you got that EAP information?
Right.
I'm not going to do that because pride's just not going to let you know that I need some type of assistance.
Stereotypes and stigmas.
Exactly.
They're not going to ask for that help.
Exactly. So I always say and stress, put it in a common area so the person can just come and use their phone, take a picture of it. When they get home, they can use it. And they never had to ask anybody or let anybody know about it. But I do want to tell anyone out there that might want to use EAP, please believe it's totally confidential.
Yes.
The only thing that your company gets is the number of people using it. And that's just so that we know if people are utilizing that benefit.
Yes.
But they never tell us anything about the sessions or anything like that.
Right. And just to piggyback off of that, I try to, or I have tried to let, clients or potential clients know what we talk about is confidential.
Right.
And I only tell, or as a therapist should only share what is necessary. And so if your company is paying for this, yes, they may need to know how many sessions you had, but they are not going to know what you talked about.
Right. We're
not about to tell them, well, they was talking about y'all, there's a problem at work. No, that's not what it's for. It's actually very confidential. And if you need to use the Employee Assistance Program, which is EAP, then by all means, please do, because it is very confidential.
And see, this is coming from the mental health care professional and the HR professional.
Yes.
So she's on the end where you're seeking the help and she's letting you know that we don't know about that. And then as the HR professional, I've never gotten anything that said, Mary J came to talk to us about this. Never. All it tells us is who used it. I mean, how many people use it, not who used it, but how many people, just so we can know if the benefit is valuable.
Right. So don't be afraid, people.
Please step out of your comfort zone. There's benefits to emotional intelligence in the workplace, such as greater motivation among staff to understand their own emotions and those of their colleagues. Positive relationships and deeper connections between employees and employees can respond to change effectively and handle any additional stress it brings. Here are some other ways that employers can promote emotional intelligence in the workplace. Give employees a voice. Make sure that your employees are not nervous to say what they think. Everything is not going to be sugar-coated. Some things probably are going to hurt your feelings, but they have a right to discuss those things. Employee development. If somebody is in a position and they don't want to be in that position forever and they want to be mentored, be that person to help them get to the next step. Assertiveness training, just make sure that people are empowered to speak their mind and that they don't water themselves down to make sure that they're accepted.
Before you go on, I want to say I like that because assertiveness training is very important. And I know a lot of people don't know how to be assertive.
Right.
And or they mistake it for something else. You know, I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I really truly believe in being assertive and standing up for what you believe and standing up for yourself and everything. And you don't have to do it in an irate way or anything like that, but you can definitely be assertive, stand your ground, stand firm on what you believe, and advocate for yourself in a workplace and or at home. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
And sometimes passion can be seen as aggressive, but it's not aggressiveness. It's just that you're passionate about whatever it is you're discussing or whatever you're going through. So sometimes it's just the perception of it, and it's not really what you mean or how you mean it. Sometimes people are just being on guard because of something personal with them. And it doesn't have anything to do with what you're saying or doing.
Internalizing.
Yeah. Another one is stress management. And this is funny because a couple weeks ago, it was National Mental Health Day, and me and Tina was talking about it. So I got little stress balls to pass out to all the employees. And on the stress balls, it said something positive. And surprisingly, my managers like the stress balls more than the employees.
To say the word stress the hell out.
And I gave a disclaimer before I gave them out. I said, I know this is a little corny. And they was like, no, Lorinda, it's not. So actually, I felt pretty good about my little stress balls.
Yes, ma'am. That was good.
And then we also want to identify employee strengths and weaknesses. What makes a team is because we all have different strengths and weaknesses. Where I may not be good, Tina may be great, which she is. Like the technical stuff, she's great because I would be sitting up here flipping through the user manual probably 900 times to get the microphones on. But Tina done mastered it all. So that's what makes the world go round is everybody's strengths and weaknesses are not identical.
Right. We're unique. And that's what makes us unique. You know, like even with relationships, like I tell my husband, you know, we're that puzzle. And it's like, when God put us together, it was like, this is that piece and here's that piece and boom, there we are. So yeah, everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, and together we create a whole.
Right. And you have to own them. Like when you go to an interview and they ask you what's your weaknesses and you sit there and go, well, I don't have any. We do. And don't let that be a negative experience for you. Be straight up, because what if the person that they're matching you with and your strengths and weaknesses match up perfectly? And when they interview you and you say what they are, they go, this is going to work perfect. So never be afraid to discuss your strengths and weaknesses, because that's what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
And then the last one is defining workplace guidelines. And just as to sum all of this up, I'm just going to say positive communication. And once again, when I say communication, I mean talking and listening.
Right.
And another thing about positive communication, one of the biggest reasons why people leave jobs is because of managers. When you hear people say why they left jobs, they didn't leave the job because what they were doing. They left because of the managers, the people they were reporting to, acting like they could care less if they were there, not being appreciative, not helping them, almost setting them up for failure.
Right.
Another big thing is the lack of engagement and compassion that leads to many employees failing, and a failed relationship between the employees and the managers.
Yeah.
It's important for managers to remember personal details about their employees. Remember their birthdays, or remember if they came into your office and told you something a week ago and you bump into them, ask them how those things went. You think those things are so small, but that makes a big difference if somebody comes up to me and go, oh yeah, Lorinda, how was your birthday celebration? And I'm like, oh, you remember. Those little things, they matter. Or if you remember their kids' names, ask about their kids, ask about their birthdays, ask how their family's doing, and wait for their answers. Not just asking to make it look like you care, but to make sure that they know that you really do care. You can teach people technical skills. However, you cannot teach a lot of personality skills. And that's what's very hard, because a lot of people can be good at doing their job. It does not mean that they're good at managing people.
Right.
So some of those skills, they just cannot be taught. Some of those personality skills just have to already be there, and they have to be natural and genuine.
So true. So true. Yeah. Well, when I think about, some obscurities of office emotions and the struggles of maintaining professionalism, I think back into many careers that I've had in interactions with different managers, but one in particular, I think about an amusing kind of workplace situation or scenario. I had a manager. She was younger than I was, less educated than I was, and I truly believe she was having a intimate relationship with the vice president, and that's probably the only reason why she got the position. However, you didn't hear it from me, but me and another employee, my desk was right outside the VP's office, and I was a sales representative at the time. And she just seemed so clueless, for a lack of a better word. And I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not here to, shame or talk about anybody. But some of the things that she would do, I would just question, like, how in the hell? did she get this manager position, she was not a good communicator. She did not try to encourage us as a team to do well. She would do inappropriate things, like come and sit on my desk and try to demand me to do things. And I mean, just certain things. We'd have meetings with vendors, and she would be, now we're a team, we're under her, and she's our manager, and we would all be so embarrassed and upset when we leave because she's sitting in the meeting. She's not paying attention. She's not taking any notes. She's picking in her hair, and she's acting like, well, what I say is a monkey pulling fleas out of their hair. And it was like, really?
Right. Because she was representing y'all as a team.
Yes. But it was just like you said, some people don't have the certain skills. But again, I feel like personally, I don't know, I could just be, talking out the side of my neck, but I feel like she received that position because of who she knew or who she was doing. But regardless, as managers, people really should learn how to communicate with their team and have that personality. And
right.
I even when I left that particular corporation, I sent them an email and I was like, I told them they should offer, manager training for her.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of jobs when I left, that was my recommendation or my suggestion on my exit interview. It's like, your management team, they need some work.
Right.
They really don't have people skills. They don't have managing skills. You're putting them in these positions and you're just throwing them in there. They don't know how to communicate well with others. They don't have the emotional intelligence that they need to be a part of leadership, but they're being promoted maybe sometimes inappropriately because of who they know or because they've been there for a while or who they're sleeping with. I don't know.
Right.
But regardless, they're not in the right position. So it's like, when people make that joke, like, who the heck did you have to screw to
get here?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that when you work in a corporation and these managers are there and they don't have a clue.
Right. And it's true, Tina, a lot of managers are given those roles because they really do a good job in another role and they just assume that they're going to be good managers and they're not. Or they've been on a company for 20 years and they just feel like that's a promotion that's due to them. Mm-hmm. However, you don't do that because what you will do is run away all of your good employees by putting a bad manager in charge of them.
Because I sure ran.
Yeah.
Every chance I got.
Right. And then to put my HR hat on for a minute, I'm glad to hear that you do the exit interviews and send feedback.
Oh, man.
Because I always tell people, if you run and don't tell us what was wrong, you're leaving other people to continue to deal with it because you didn't speak up. So I love for people to do exit interviews. I don't care if you put my name in it. I just want to hear what was so bad that you couldn't take it another day and made you leave.
Well, you the only one because everybody else feels like, who told her I'm doing exit emails?
No, I love it.
Exit interviews, exit standing on the rooftop screaming it out. But I'm like an advocate for people. Like when I left that particular company, I sent a company-wide email to everybody, even including my vendors at that time because I was a sales, representative. Right. I wanted them to know, like, this is not okay.
Right.
And I'm like, they're asking me when they contact me, what do you want? I want the next person in my position
to not have to deal with that.
To not have to deal, or the people that are still there because I'm gone.
Right.
It doesn't affect me. Right. However, I want someone else to have a better experience.
And that's why I say, tell how you feel when you left, because it helps the people that are still there. Mm-hmm. And if you care anything about the people that are still there, speak up. Say what's the problem. I mean, how can you fix it if you don't know? I always say that. How can I fix something or even try to get it fixed if I don't know that the problem exists?
That is my biggie. How can you hold someone accountable for something they don't know?
Right.
So if you don't tell them, guess what? They don't know. So no one else is going to be able to benefit from that improvement if no one else is sharing. So
right. Yeah. So if you're thinking about leaving a job and not telling them what the hell they doing wrong, think about it twice. Tell them what they're doing wrong, because otherwise they won't fix it and it'll just continue to be a problem. And somebody, think about this. Somebody may not be as strong as you and may not deal with it as well as you did. And it may really cost somebody some real serious mental health problems. So if it's a problem, speak up about it, because everybody's not strong. Everybody don't have strength to just walk away. Somebody may be there because they have to be there. Right. And then they're sitting there dealing with all of that unnecessary stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyday real life stuff, people.
Real life. Okay. So we've journeyed from our homes to our workplaces, discovering the incredible impact of emotional safety and emotional intelligence. We hope this episode has left you feeling inspired to make a positive change in your own life. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need from people, whether it be at home or in the workplace. We all know the saying, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yes, ma'am. So the next time you're about to lose your cool, just remember, take a deep breath and say, I hear you, I understand, and or even I empathize with you.
Don't forget that creating emotionally safe spaces is not only a worthy aspiration, but also a way to empower ourselves and those around us.
Yeah, speaking of safe spaces, a safe space can be a person, place, or even an activity. My safe space is where I feel calm, comfortable or even supported and most like myself, which is the beach for me, but also in my husband's arms. Where's your safe space or person, or where's your safe space?
I'm going to say my safe space is definitely my home. I call it my peace palace because actually if that's not what you're contributing, you can't come up in there. You can stand outside on that curb, but you can't come up in the peace palace with no nonsense.
Ain't disturbing my peace.
Yeah, you can't disturb my peace. Anything that will disturb my peace, that price is too high and you can't come in.
It's invaluable.
And Tina, guess what? My other peace palace is probably coming here recording a podcast once a week.
No.
It is. It's just that this came at the right time and it's just a chance to get to talk. And we do a lot of laughing and talking that you guys don't get to hear, but it'd be some good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So if I had to say two things, I would definitely say my home is definitely a peaceful place for me. And then just coming to talk about things that I really enjoy talking about with Tina and with everybody.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, it feels natural. It feels calm. It feels comforting. And I feel like we're sharing information and knowledge that we're passionate about, even though sometimes we get a little nervous or whatever, because we're still new to podcasting people, but we really enjoy what we're doing, and we're really passionate about all the information that we're sharing with you. So by all means, it really is a safe, comfortable space for us. But I'm glad to know that you feel the same way. Yeah. But I agree. My home, it has to be I haven't called it the Peace Palace. Darn, I wish I would have thought of that. I'm going to think of me a name now. Let's see. Usually we're the CUD over here, the Christians up there. However, I'm going to think of this palace I'm going to have over here or something. But no, my home, I'm like you. It's like, for one, I have two things. Like, you can't have my sanity. You know, you can have a lot of things from me. I'll give and give and give, and I'll overextend, but my sanity you can't have. And you can't have my peace.
Right.
And it's like you said, it's like, not up in here.
Right.
Not up in here. You can take all that mess outside, keep it at the curb, like you said, outside. Don't bring that mess around here, Evan. We ain't got time for that.
Right.
Because I'm a very peaceful person naturally, unless, of course, you poke the bear. But I like quiet. I like peace. I like serenity,
Right, right.
And so if you're coming in here with all that, it just really, it does mess up your vibe. So I can see how and why that would be, And so now my boudoir, it's become a new peace palace for me, because I'll come and I'll sit and I'll turn on a little crackling fireplace background and the little soft lighting and or music and just kind of relax. So yeah, it's good to have places and spaces and people that can provide you that comfort if and when you need it. So yeah, find your safe space, people. And don't forget that life's too short not to find humor in even the most emotionally charged situations.
Remember, emotional intelligence and psychological safety are no laughing matter. Well, mostly no laughing matter.
But we
might have made some fun of things today, but it's just to keep it kind of lightweight. Yeah. It's not that we're discounting how important these things are.
Not at all. I mean, sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. And laughter, like I said, it is, food for the soul. It's therapy. So don't be afraid to laugh, but don't be afraid to take these type of things seriously as well and get, emotional help, again, as I always say, if you need it. But be emotionally intelligent, people. Find your safe space and, respect the safe space and the psychological safety of others as well.
Right. That's important.
Yeah. It's been real. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tune in next time for more fascinating insight. But until then, take care and keep those emotional fires burning, people. Stay hopeful
and stay curious.
Before we part ways, we invite you to share your own stories, thoughts, and reflections with us. Connect with us on social media, reach out through our website, or simply leave a comment on your preferred podcast platform. Feel free to leave us in voicemail at 816-607-1243 with any thoughts, concerns, or questions that you'd like shared on Lifing 101 or just answered or addressed. If you prefer to send us an email, feel free to do so by sending it to our website, lifing101pod.com, or send us an email to info@lifing101pod.com. Your insights and experiences enrich our shared understanding of this incredible journey we're all a part of. Please subscribe to this podcast and follow our website, lifing101pod.com, and find and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Stay hopeful, stay curious, and keep embracing the vibrant, unpredictable, and awe-inspiring journey that we call life. Goodbye for now, and may your days be filled with endless wonder.